Hi, welcome to the Give Kids the World Wish Pillow tutorial. Today I'll be giving you instructions on how to make 4 pillows from 2 yards of fabric. This is what your finished product will look like. The front has a pocket, and the back has the opening to put the pillow into. So we'll be making 4 pillowcases today. Here's a list of all the materials that you'll need to make your project. First, you need 1 yard of fabric for your main pillowcase. Then we're also going to use 1 yard of fabric for the pocket, and this is your excuse to buy the cutest fabric you can possibly find. We'll buy 1 yard, but you will have left over to make more pillows. You'll also need a sewing machine and coordinating thread that matches your fabric. I'm going to use an off-white so it blends in, but you can also make something really colorful or really bright as well. And some other handy tools that are optional but really helpful. You'll need some scissors, pins, not too many, and those are optional. A rotary cutter, this is a little more precise and quick than scissors are. A good ruler, a cutting mat, and finally, another optional but really helpful step is an ironing board to make everything look really professional. The first cut of fabric that you need is for your pocket material, and that's going to be 12 inches and the width of the fabric. So this is a pre-cut piece, but as you can see, in order to cut it, I just kept the selvage on, and that will serve as a guide, and don't worry about it because it will get cut off or sewn out later. So put your selvage at the top and measure out 12 inches and then cut. The second piece of fabric you need is going to be exactly 1 yard. So you can have the store cut the fabric to 1 yard for you, but if you want to buy in bulk, you can make a dozen pillows with 3 yards. So that's what I did. So I'm just going to cut off 1 yard here using my ruler and rotary cutter. Now we're going to hem our main fabric material. And so I have the raw edge at the top, and we're going to hem both raw edges on this piece of fabric. So to do a hem, just very simply, you're going to fold over a little bit of your fabric, so about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch. I like to start small on the first fold because when you fold it again, it'll get bigger. This is another place where your iron comes in really handy, and so you just press that down so it will stay when you're ready to sew. I like this fabric because the polka dots help me keep track of my folds. And I've already ironed my fabrics to make them look so everything is all set. So I've made my first fold, and to complete the hem, I'm just going to fold it down again exactly over the part we already did and press again all the way over. And remember, we do this to both sides, both raw edges of our main fabric. So we prepared our hem, and I've already sewn it on our main fabric. So remember, we did a hem on both raw edges. Since this is already finished, I will demonstrate how to actually do it on our pocket fabric. So here's our pocket fabric. I've done the 2 folds to make the hem, and you're just going to line it up on your sewing machine. I'm using a buttonhole foot really for no reason, except I like that it's clear, and there's space for me to use a zigzag stitch, which we will do later. So it really doesn't matter what foot you use. If you have one that works on a zigzag, that will be helpful. So I have it lined up. Here we go. I'm going to back stitch to secure it. Now we have both of our fabrics hemmed, So what we're going to do, we have the main fabric with our hemmed side at the top, right side up. And we're going to take our pocket fabric with only the one side hemmed. We're going to line up the hems. And as you can see, the right sides are together. The flannel might be a little bit longer than your main fabric, but that doesn't matter. It will all line up later, so don't worry. And the accuracy isn't so important, so you can relax. So I have these smoothed out, right sides together, and we're going to sew across this line to make our pocket. So if you're feeling really confident, you can just go for it and start sewing. I like to pin because the flannel tends to stretch out a little bit more. So I'm just going to put in a few pins. You can also iron them together and that will help them stick a little bit, but pinning should do it just fine. So we have our two materials all lined up at the hems and pinned, and we're just going to sew straight down to make the pocket. You can do about 1/4 to 1/2 inch seam here. So here's the piece where we just sewed. That's our seam. So what I'm going to do is open it up, smooth it out a bit. I've already taken this to the ironing board and pressed the seam right here so it's really nice and smooth. Now what you need to do is measure about 15 inches from this sewn line down, and we're going to fold. So here's about 12. 1, 2, 3. So you can see there your main fabric is overlapping with your pillow fabric by a couple of inches, which is the right amount. So we're going to make sure everything's nice and smooth, and then you're just going to fold the other part of your pillow fabric back down right onto the seam. That's another reason why pressing is helpful, because it gives you a really clean edge. As you can see, I have some extra fabric hanging out over here, but it doesn't matter, we're just going to trim it off. So now, this line is going to make 4 pillows. So we're going to actually cut our individual pillows right now. So my rotary cutter and my ruler. So we want each pillow to be about 10.5 to 11 inches. I'm just going to flip it around and get rid of that excess. So we'll trim it down to about 10. So we have 1 pillow right here. And we'll do the rest about 10.5. So here's one of the pillows that we cut. And we're just going to sew down both of those open ends to secure our pillow and finish it off. So I set my sewing machine to a zigzag stitch to secure the edges. If you have a serger, that would also work. So here we go. And back stitch to secure the end. And cut all your loose threads. I like to do it now so I don't forget later on. And then we'll do the other side. Okay, so now we've come to the very last step. You have your zigzag edges to finish it off, and the only thing we need to do now is to turn it inside out. Right side out, I suppose. If you want, you can clip your edges to have a nicer corner. And smooth it out. You can take it back to the ironing board, and there you have it. So thank you very much for watching this tutorial. Happy sewing!